Patterns from the Sun, Seasons by Karen Jones. Have you ever wondered why we have winter, spring, summer, and fall? The sun and earth work together to control our seasons. All planets in our solar system orbit the sun. Orbit means to move around. It takes 365 days for Earth to travel once around the sun. One complete orbit around the sun equals 1 year on Earth. It says 365 days to go around the sun once. Earth doesn't exist in space straight up and down. It's actually on a tilt. An imaginary axis shows us how the Earth is tilted. This tilt, along with its orbit around the sun, is what creates different seasons on Earth. At the top, you have the North Pole, and at the bottom, you have the South Pole. And then this shows you the direction that the Earth spins. As Earth orbits around the sun, the part of the Earth that is tilted towards the sun changes. When the place where we live is tilted towards the sun, we have summer. When the place where we live is tilted away from the sun, we have winter. The equator is an imaginary line that runs around the center of the Earth. The equator divides the Earth into two hemispheres, the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. What hemisphere do you live in? We live in the northern hemisphere. The seasons are always opposite in the northern and southern hemispheres. When it's summer in the northern hemisphere, it's winter in the southern hemisphere. The seasons on Earth are different depending on where you live. In the state of New York, people notice drastic changes in the weather: cold and snowy weather in winter, rainy and cloudy weather in spring, hot and sunny days in summer, and cool and crisp weather in the fall when the leaves change color. In other places, the weather doesn't change much with the seasons. In Antarctica, it's always cold no matter the season. Places near the equator remain hot all year. Weather isn't the only thing that changes with the seasons. Did you ever notice that the times of sunrise and sunset change too? Summer. So 6 a.m., it's sunny out, and 9 a.m., it's still light outside. During the summer months, the sun rises early in the morning. It sets late in the evening. Days are very long in the summer. Winter. At 7:30 in the morning, it's still dark out, and at 6 p.m., it's already getting dark out. During the winter months, the sun rises later in the morning. In winter, it may be dark outside when you get on the school bus. The sun sets earlier in the winter too. It gets dark early. Days are much shorter in the winter. The sun and earth work together to create patterns of day and night and patterns of the seasons: winter, spring, summer, and fall. Each evening, the sun sets, and each morning it rises. Every March, June, September, and December, the seasons change. The patterns of day, night, and the seasons occur because of the sun and the movement of the earth. Now, what causes the seasons? So we talked about how the earth and the sun both cause the seasons. And that's what it was saying in one of these slides here. It says the sun and the earth work together to control our seasons. Now you're going to do an investigation about a boy named Marcus. Marcus lives where that line is pointing. That's in North America where we live. And he lives in Kansas. That's the state. And Kansas is in the northern hemisphere. So now you're going to do an investigation and you're going to be looking at some pictures to help us decide what season it is where Marcus lives.